Okay.
But first time, I mean, it's incredible because it's every musician dream to be at on the Carnegie Hall stage, especially that stage. And I really like feel like when I first play the concert there, it's first time in my life I heard the music the way it's supposed to be. You know, like acoustic is so perfect.
So gorgeous there.
And the whole atmosphere and I mean the history behind it and the spirit. Like you sit there, I always feel like I'm not alone when I play there. I mean, not at the rehearsal, but at the concert itself, as if something like lifts me up and carries me through.
Now, in Russia is Carnegie Hall. When you were growing up in Russia as a young student,
It's also famous.
it's famous there, and it's where people want to go.
Do they have the same joke there?
No.
No.
In Moscow, there is a beautiful concert hall, is Moscow Conservatory Hall, and it actually has the same history as Carnegie Hall.
Oh,
it's very famous and it's very beautiful. So if I would be living in Moscow now, I probably would be giving their concert every year.
Okay.
But still, when you move to America and you feel Carnegie Hall, you're like, Carnegie Hall, you know it. Everybody knows Carnegie Hall.
Absolutely.
Great, yeah, sure. Well, I'm reading a book about Andrew Carnegie himself, the old guy himself, a true capitalist, the American mode. But he used to make a lot of donations to public philanthropic donations around the world. Right, he did.
You do a lot of work with children. As you were saying earlier, you're interested in exposing them to classical
because
music.
I grew up in Moscow. Since I was like 5.5, 6 years old, my parents always took me to concerts, and serious concerts. They were not kids' concerts. There was a professional pianist doing a concert. And I remember sitting through it and be amazed at the end. Like, it was not like I never was bored. I actually very clear remember who I heard and when. Like that's, and I thought, you know, it's here, I don't see so much of that. And I think that education doesn't provide enough. Unless you go to specialized school, kids in the public schools almost not exposed to classical music. So I met this wonderful guy, he's a principal in Mount Vernon, and we started the project of playing at schools. And kids, they love it.
In Mount Vernon?
Mount Vernon, poor area, poor kids. I played like 7 schools in last this 6 months period. I give concerts in 7 different schools. Last school I played, there were kids like this, little. I played like 40-minute presentation, and then I asked them if they had questions. And there's this little girl comes to the mic, and she says, I always liked the music, but now I like it so much more. And there was this little black girl with braids, and I said, how old is the girl? 4 years old. It was so touching.
That's wonderful.
And you know what? Some parents are coming to the Carnegie Hall and bringing their kids. And I thought, even if like I made difference in 20 kids' life, it's better than nothing.
That's huge.
Well, that's amazing. Now, what is the kids can come to see the show?
Yeah, for free.
For free? Wow.
And the program, I mean, it's a serious concert.
Let's tell people when it's going to be.
The concert is this Friday, June 12th at 8 p.m. in the Carnegie Hall.
Okay.
In the main hall.
In the main hall. And what's your website?
It's like my name. It's katyagrineva.com.
Okay, KatyaGrineva. Here, I'll show it to you in a moment. You can get a closer look. Here it is. Here, let me get a little closer.
Because you can find out a lot more there about
right, and you can go, or just go to the Carnegie Hall website, which is easy enough to figure out.
You travel a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
You tour a lot
as
a musician. So tell us what kind of traveling you do.
You know, my life is like I actually love going abroad and discovering new cultures. So I've been, last 2 years, I've been twice to Philippines, to Manila.
Oh, interesting.
I got a Peace Prize from the President of Manila 2 years ago.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, I saw that actually.
Yeah, and this November I went by their invitation to give a big concert.
Fantastic.
So that was great. And then I've been to Africa, Kenya. I gave 8 concerts last year in Kenya.
Wow.
In Kenya,
I bet
wow.
that was interesting.
Amazing.
I
Now,
love it.
I saw the New York Times did a feature on your apartment.
Yeah, because...
How did that come to be? That's a great story.
Well, it was a few years ago. It was like 4 years ago. And I actually did travel a lot at that time. And it was a sad time. My father passed away. So I was sad, and I left my apartment completely like abandoned. You know, everything was all over the place. And I was leaving for another trip, and a friend of mine, and I gave kiss to a friend of mine and said, you know, I'm away for a month. stay if you want. Like, apartment is empty. So she came and she started cleaning my kitchen. And then she called two more friends of mine and she said, let's like give Katya a present.
Okay.
So they redid my apartment.
They really redid it, right?
Beautiful.
I know.
They did a great job.
That's amazing. And you told the story of how your piano got moved up into the apartment because it's a small New York City apartment, 300 square feet, and you had what seemed to me a baby grand piano.
I have a baby grand piano.
It's a baby grand piano. I call it the right thing.
And they had to walk it up the stairs, right?
No, they take the legs off, and three guys just pushed it
That's
up
incredible.
Yeah.
It's
not
like
like
playing
TV.
the
You know,
violin.
sometimes I'm thinking, okay, I need to move in a bigger place, and I'm like, but what about the piano? It's hard to move.
It's hard to move a piano, right? Amazing.
Well, that requires specialized movers, right? You can't just call any moving company to move a
They
piano.
have to come with 3 guys or 4 guys. They want to push it up the stairs.
Who have experience with piano movers.
Yeah, piano movers.
Right.
Definitely.
Great. So
you can't change pianos.
Actually, at one point I had 2 pianos there because I had my old one and the new one. So in that tiny little apartment I had 2 pianos.
Oh wow, that's
so
amazing.
I think with a lot of imagination and persistence you can change.
Right. Wow, amazing.
Now what about your neighbors?
They love it.
Good,
They
yeah.
love it, thank God.
I would too.
Yeah,
It's
great.
beautiful.
They love the music, yeah.
Yeah,
So tell me about what the future holds. What are your plans?
my future. Well, I just want to continue what I'm doing. I feel like, you know, first of all, playing at Carnegie Hall every year that's why I'm in New York. And I want to continue giving a lot of children's concerts, like going to schools and do those presentations. And I think I want to keep doing like my international travels because I did few concerts in Ecuador and I've helped with poor children there. So I think I want to go more to South America and continue, you know, back to Africa.
Tell me a little bit about your playing in Ecuador and some of the countries you played, your experiences in these countries. What are some interesting experiences from your travels?
Well, you know, like in Ecuador, they actually treated me like such a big star. I think it's the first time when I realized
Isn't that great?
Like they had a billboard over the city with my name, so which I never happened anywhere else.
That's fantastic.
Right.
And you know, there are people, like there's some percentage of very educated people there, and they really appreciate what I did. And then, of course, you play to big mass of people who unfortunately are not exposed to the music, but at least they enjoy it, you know?
Everybody came and had a good time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Right.
I'm going to ask you that. Like, how much education do you think you need to appreciate classical music?
Well, I think if you were exposed to it as in your childhood, or as a teenager, or like as a child, you know, basically you don't need much education. You will always appreciate it. But I think if you are not exposed to it at an early age, it will be hard to understand it later on. So if kids just listen to this hip-hop or all this loud music, they will not understand it. And actually, classical music is so good for your brain. Like, they even have a study that pregnant women should listen to Mozart, and the child is born with much more, like, you know, like an advancement in his brain. I remember when I was young and I would prepare exams, naturally, it was just my intuition. I would always play Mozart concertos. And I realized that I was learning much quicker whatever I had to learn, because they activate certain, you know, certain cells in your brain.
I wonder how they figured out Mozart in particular.
Mozart is a genius.
That alone.
Let's listen to another cut from your album, Love and Fire, The Dances, so we can improve the mental condition of the folks who are, or of us here, right here in the studio, as well as our fans.
And meanwhile, while you're doing that, I'm just going to mention the website again, which is KatyaGrineva.com. So it's her name, KatyaGrineva.com. And if you go there, you can find out about what she's got coming up and a little bit more about her biography and what else she's done, because we're not going to be able to cover everything today, but the half hour goes too fast. What are you playing, Paul?
Cut 5.
We don't know.
Tango, Adios Nonino.
That's a sad